Have you ever wondered why young men like myself and you watching this video right now could spend their whole teenage years and our early 20s trying to make money, trying to start businesses? It doesn't work at first. You finally crack it. You finally make it work. Now you're hitting the 10K, 20K, 30, 40, 50K months, whatever it may be. And you could still get your woman taken by an absolute brokey, a man that is not on your level, to say the least. Do you know that's possible? In this video, I'm going to be talking about how and why it's possible and how you can avoid that very thing happening to you. We're going to be covering why women cheat on young rich guys with broke men. Now, if you've been cheated on before, then you'll probably resonate with a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about in this video. If you haven't been cheated on before, it doesn't have to necessarily, shouldn't necessarily have to cheat on you with a broke guy. But if you've been cheated on before, in any capacity really, because the context and most situations are very different. But if you've been cheated on before, then congratulations, because that's basically a rite of passage to manhood. If you haven't been cheated on before, then good luck, bro. Just pray that it doesn't happen to you and you do what I say in this video so you can decrease the chances of it actually happening. But let's get started. And do you want to know what's crazy, right? All of us men, generally speaking, we've had the same start to life when it comes to women. You don't have any money, all you got is talk. You're seeing all the women that you want, go for the guys with money, footballers, athletes, crypto guys, the business guys that are way ahead of you, scammers. I think I said scammers already, I don't know. But the women that you want, they're not coming for you. They're going to the guys with money. Maybe you was even in a place where you didn't even have a car, right? That's usually where it starts. You have no money, but then guys start getting cars. And then women start going to the guys with cars. You don't have a car. So from a very early age, you essentially clock the hierarchy in things, or the hierarchy starts to change. When you were very young, you could just speak on Snapchat. Obviously, you can still do these things today, but just on a general basis, you can just speak on Snapchat, you can just speak on BBM, taking it way back, or speak on Instagram, get things working. But now, the game started to evolve. As women started to get older and men started to get older, they started to be they started to get exposed to new things. They're getting exposed to men with cars. Men are taking them to these fancy places. Some of these men are flying them out. Some of these men are just handing them money. So that means the game changes for you, especially if you don't have these resources. And if you didn't have these resources, you've definitely witnessed another man that has the resources essentially win the women. Cool. So from a very early age, you've understood this basic concept. If I have what we call money, the game is mine. Or maybe the game won't be yours completely, but to play the game, it's much easier. Back in the day, you didn't have to pay to play. But now as you start to get older, you gotta pay to play. You don't have to pay to play, but generally speaking, you gotta pay to play. Cool. How do I describe this? Where this gets a bit technical is if you didn't have experience with women before you had money, right? It essentially makes it harder for you to deal with women once you get older and you do have money, because you didn't learn the fundamentals, right? Now, to link back to what I'm actually going to be talking about in this video, most men that grew up in a situation that I just described end up inheriting the basic understanding that if I get money, I will also get women. Whilst that's true, it's not 100% true. A lot of men end up believing just because they have money, the deal is sealed. They're immune to all dangers when it comes to women. Some men believe that making money is the be-all and end-all when it comes to women. And if you believe this, you have a very high chances of your woman being taken by a broke guy. And that's what we don't want. And I say this because there's fundamentals that you have to learn. And if you don't learn the fundamentals and you be blind to it, it's gonna catch you on a rebound. It's gonna catch you on a sneak attack and you're gonna be affected. And you're going to be more affected than the common guy because you didn't expect it and you were convinced that something like that couldn't happen. But anyway, let's actually get into the points. The first reason why your girl could cheat on you with a broke guy, and it doesn't matter how much money that you are making right now, or what business or what industry you're in right now, it's because you're neglecting her emotional, let's write this quicker, her emotional appetite. What is the emotional appetite? We all understand on a simple and basic level that women are generally more emotional than men, especially in their day-to-day lives and especially when it comes to relationships. Men, obviously, we want to be cared for, we want to be loved, appreciated, respected, catered to, things like that. But most of the time anyway, we don't crave the emotional stimulus. But whereas women, every time, they're always craving some sort of emotional stimulus, even on a subconscious level. So they may not even realize it and you may not even realize it, but they always craving some sort of emotion. A good example is like, have you ever been in a situation where women will just start an argument with you for no reason? Or think of the situations where women leave men because they're bored. You know, they're always reacting on emotion and always craving some sort of emotion. Now, what men with money tend to do, especially younger men that may not have experience with women, but they do have money, is similar to what I said not too long ago. They believe, sorry guys, they believe that money is the be all and end all. So they think that, okay, cool, now that I've got the money and now that I've got the woman, the deal is done, it's all good. But they focused so much on the money that they neglect the woman's emotional appetite. So what ends up happening is she craves emotional stimulus. And if he's not providing that emotional stimulus, what ends up happening is she may not realize it or she may realize it, but her door, essentially, let's call it an emotional door, right? When you are soothing a woman's emotional door, let's say behind this door there's a room and that room is the emotions, right? If you are doing what you're supposed to do in that room, then this door is going to be shut because she's receiving everything that she needs from you. But if she's not receiving everything that she needs from you, this door is going to be open. This door might be wide open. This door might be just creaked open. When you look at this door, the door might be shut. But have you ever had a door when the door is on the latch? So it looks like it's shut, but if you just push it or you pull it, it's going to open, right? Or maybe it's just a handle door where it's not actually locked. So if someone walked up to this door, they could just and open it, right? That's literally how I've observed women to be, okay? What ends up happening is these young men, I say these young men like I'm not a young man as well, but what happens is these young men, they neglect her emotional appetite. They neglect the emotional stimulus. They're not stimulating her emotionally. They only stimulate her financially, okay? And now what ends up happening is, think of the common brokey, the common broke guy, right? He has time on his hands. He doesn't have money, so he can't win your woman over with money because he doesn't have it. But what can he win her over with? Time, emotions. Those are the two main things, and curiosity as well. If he's able to win your woman's curiosity, then she may be on her way out, unfortunately. One of the ways that you can neglect your woman's emotional appetite is by being complacent. And what I will tell you and what I've observed over life is that complacency kills desire. You've got the woman, now you just start relaxing. You have to remember that women have a desire to be chased. They have a desire to be pursued. Sometimes you'll see this on social media as well. Sometimes women will speak about how they may get into a relationship and a man stops pursuing them. And essentially they don't like feeling like they're not being pursued. They don't like feeling like their man or their boyfriend is just relaxing about. So what ends up happening? That emotional door that I was just talking about becomes slightly open. And again, this varies. This depends on the type of woman that she is. But now, who is going to pursue her? The brokey. The brokey guy. Let's draw him. Let's say his name is Jamal, right? Arrow Jamal. Jamal is The brokey. Don't worry. Jamal will get his money up soon. He's up there. He's gonna. Right, Jamal is the brokey. But whilst you're complacent about your woman, Jamal isn't. And guess what? If you've got a pretty woman, chances are you do because you have money. If you've got a beautiful woman, Jamal is not going to be the only one. You're going to have a Jamal, you're going to have a Jeff, you're going to have a Steven, you're going to have a Billy. All of these men are pursuing your woman whilst you are being complacent, okay? Now again, this varies because there are some women that won't necessarily let their door be open and let these men essentially stimulate her emotionally. But from my experience, women go based on their emotions. So your woman, she may not do it right now, but there may be a time that she does do it, okay? But what I was saying, she wants to be pursued. Guys like Jamal, he's got time on his hands, he ain't got a job. He's messaging your girl. And when you and your girl have an argument, and if she remembers how you're being complacent, Jamal is messaging her, making her feel good. Oh, don't listen to him, he's just being an idiot, he's not treating you right, etc, etc. Eventually, your girl is going to start to feel something towards Jamal because Jamal makes her feel happy. Jamal makes her feel pursued. Jamal makes her feel special. But you've become complacent, you've become boring, you've become predictable. So she's basically not really feeling much from you, essentially. Another mistake that you're making is that you believe, even on a subconscious level, that your money will keep her happy. This literally ties into what I was talking about from the very beginning. When you essentially believe that money is the be all and end all, you stop doing the important things, right? And yeah, don't get me wrong, money is gonna make a woman happy. Don't get with a woman and you don't have money. I've been there. It's not a good decision to make. But you think that your money will solely your money will make her happy. Yes. Buying her gifts, taking her on the fancy holidays, paying for her maintenance, lashes, nails, hair, etc. Buying her gifts. Yes, that's going to keep her happy on a surface level. But you have to remember, as I mentioned before, women run on emotions. So there are deeper emotions that women are going to crave. Whether they get it from you or they get it from somebody else, they're going to get it some way. So now we're thinking about, hold on, let's write this down. So we're thinking about emotions like love. Even love itself is a broad topic because everybody feels love on a different level. Everyone feels love in a different way. And obviously you would have to take into consideration your woman's childhood and what her upbringing was like. That will kind of give you an idea of what love means to her and how she receives love. Because the way you may give love may not be the way that she best receives it, okay? She's going to be craving things like attention, care. What else would a woman typically want? There's more, but nothing comes to my head right now, right? But again, there's going to be emotions that woman is going to crave that money might not necessarily be able to buy you, okay? And now, if you think that the money can, then you're going to be in a scary place because, again, your money can't buy particular emotions. But the broke guy, I keep saying broke guy, but that's what the video is about. But it doesn't even have to be a broke guy. This could be any guy. He can make your woman feel the emotions that she is craving, right? And if she feels those emotions from him that she is craving and she doesn't feel those emotions from you, and the only thing that she gets from you is finances, essentially you become the ATM machine, he becomes the man that she actually wants to be with, right? It's techie. So yes, have money, of course, but don't just think that, oh yeah, because I have money, I'm untouchable. My girl's gonna stay with me for the rest of my life. No, brother. You have to There's so many things that are incorporated aside from money. See, a while ago, I was heavily involved with a woman. My friend Jason, shout out Jason, he said to me, Aaron, you are too predictable. Every time she calls you, you answer. Every time she wants to see you, she can see. Every time she wants to stay over, she can stay over. Aaron, you're just very, very predictable. You're killing the desire. I knew what he was talking about, but my emotions was overriding the logic. And that's a mistake that men make sometimes. We're very logical, but our emotions can cloud our logic, so we don't apply the logic. And then because of that, we get hurt. Don't be like that. Don't be like me, right? But what happens when you are too predictable with your woman is that she gets bored, essentially. Not bored on a crazy level where she's saying to you, oh, I'm bored, I'm going to leave this guy. No. It's just subconscious things, right? Now, the broke guy, remember, he doesn't have the advantage of finances. So he has to be creative when it comes to approaching your woman, especially if he knows that she has a boyfriend that is clear of him. You could be making, I don't know, let's say you're on 20k per month right now and you have a marketing agency. This guy is just a brokey. He might know that, yo, this girl, her boyfriend's up. Her boyfriend is cashing right now. I can't bring finances to the table. I can't come and tell this girl, yo, I'm going to take her out on a date. I'm going to take her to this country. No, because she's already getting that from him. But then the broke guy is going to think creatively and say, okay, cool. What is it that she's not getting from this guy? And depending on your woman, she might just be friends with this broke guy. So this broke guy might be playing the long game. He's asking her questions. Oh, how's your relationship? Oh, like, what's he doing? Etc, etc. He's asking questions, the type of questions that you would ask a prospect, so that she can give him the answers to what you are not doing. And he starts doing these things, and then he takes your woman. And I'm even saying this from experience because I've done stuff like this. I know it's bad, right? But where was I going with this? The broke guy will be creative if you are too predictable with your woman. So don't be so predictable, because predictability kills desire. Don't get chinged, bro. Yo, this is actually hilarious. By the way, I didn't introduce myself in this video. My name's Aaron David. I've been making videos for women, so you might have even seen me make videos for women, but I'm started a channel for the men, vlogs, gym stuff, for the guys, you know what I mean? Let's say you're a woman, let's draw her. Forgive me, lads, because I'm not the best drawer. I'm not like Nero when it comes to integrating a whiteboard very well into videos, but we'll get there. Let's give her a name. Let's call her Rebecca. Let's say your woman's name is Rebecca, right? And let's draw you over here. Let's just say your name is Benny, right? You're Benny, Rebecca's your woman. As I mentioned before, you're a marketing agency owner. You're doing about 20 to 30k every single month. On a casual day, you wake up and you're at your desk, you're taking sales calls, you're handling the back end of your business. Maybe you're having meetings, client calls, the whole stuff that we all do, right? What does Rebecca want? Rebecca wants attention. And sometimes it's not physical attention where you go, your desk might be in the living room, she may be in the bedroom, where you go in there, give her a hug and kiss and come back. Yeah, there's that type of attention. But there's also the emotional attention. Remember, we're still on the topic of neglecting the woman's emotional appetite, right? She may start to feel lonely in the aspect of she's being neglected, essentially. Not just her emotions, but her herself may feel like she's being neglected. Then again, quite similar to my earlier point where there's going to be emotions that she's going to crave. Yeah, she's going to crave. And one of them is going to be loneliness, essentially. Now, let me scare you with something. When women feel emotionally, keyword, emotionally, when women feel emotionally lonely, whilst you are busy every single day scaling your business, guess who is available for her? Jamal, the brokey. Jamal, with all the time on his hands, he's available for her in order to cater to her emotional needs, okay? And this all depends. I was going to say it depends, but it doesn't really depend. Actually, no, it does depend. It depends on your woman, because again, if your woman is replying to these men, then you're in a dark place. But then if she's not, then you're in a more safe place versus if she was replying. My personal advice to you, bro, and I've been on the other end of the stick, my personal advice to you, bro, is to make sure, or literally have a conversation with your woman and tell her, make sure anything that's going on between me and you aren't explaining this to any other guy. Because when you're explaining to other men what's going on between me and you and how you feel, you are essentially giving him the game plan on how he can win your curiosity and win your attention. Because remember, in the early stages, he doesn't have to get into her pants. He doesn't have to get her to his house. He doesn't even have to get her out of her house. He just needs to win her curiosity. If another man wins your woman's curiosity, you might as well lock off the whole thing. You might as well forget, bro. Because now she's going to be thinking, oh, what's Jamal doing? What would Jamal do? Oh no, Jamal said XYZ yesterday. I wonder what he meant by that. Now she's pondering about this guy, and now you start to get pushed to the side. She's acknowledging you, but now she's more curious to go and discover Jamal. And think of it, think of human behavior. When a human is curious, what do? We go and explore. If someone's curious about what's inside of a cave, what do? They go and explore the cave, okay? If you're curious about something to do with your business, maybe you perceive or believe that you could do something new and that might get you a new result in your business. You're curious, right? So what do? You go and execute to see what result it can produce for you. Now with your woman, she's curious about Jamal, the brokey. So what's she going to do? She's going to go and explore Jamal. She's going to talk to Jamal a bit more. She's going to FaceTime him. Maybe they're talking every night. Maybe they're falling asleep on FaceTime right now when you're busy, okay? And slowly, step by step, before you know it, she's cheated on you, bro. Reason number 2 as to why women will cheat on young rich men with broke guys is because of the 2 M's. Masculinity and money. Let's write these down just so that you don't forget. Masculinity and money. What a lot of men, actually before I get to that point, there's a saying, and hopefully you've heard this saying before. It's man makes the money doesn't make the man. And for the slow guys, essentially what that means is you become the masculine man first, you become the man that you're supposed to be, and that man then makes the money. Advantages of that is that the money doesn't change you, okay? The money is not the shield. The money is not you. You don't rely on this to be who you are, okay? But for a lot of men, when it comes to women, because they believed that money was going to be the be-all and end-all, instead of the man making the money made the man. Now, what these men typically do and make the mistake of doesn't even make sense. What mistake, or the mistake that men make, is essentially they replace the masculinity with money, okay? Women are just attracted to masculine men. It's just how they're hardwired. It's always going to be a fact. And we can look at this today in 2025 when this video is being recorded, and we can look at this from the perspective of way back in the day when we were flipping tribes and that, right? Women love masculine men. Now, when you've taken away the masculinity, the only thing that you have to you is the money, okay? Now, let me teach you something. A masculine broke guy, so I shouldn't have read this out, but a masculine broke guy can take your girl, right? If you just have money, but you're not a masculine man. Why does this happen? It's because you lack, okay, I shouldn't have read this out, let's just write it again. You lack the masculine traits that she is inherently, biologically attracted to, okay? You lack these things. The only thing that you don't lack is the ability to provide the material things, okay? And which she likes, which she appreciates. But remember, these things happen on a surface level. The masculine desire happens on a intrinsic slash deeper level, okay? Money, surface, masculinity, or the desire for it happens on an intrinsic, deeper level. So whilst you're providing the financial aspect, yes, she's going to appreciate you, but because you're lacking these things, subconsciously she's going to be on the lookout for those character traits, or on the search for it essentially, or she's going to be able to notice it because that's not what she's currently been around. For example, if you are around people that don't smell good, or they just don't smell like anything, the moment you get around somebody that smells really good, you're going to pick up on it immediately because it's not what you are used to. The same way, your girl, because you made the mistake of replacing masculinity with money, because she's not around masculinity, or she's not around masculine traits, okay? The moment she gets around a masculine man, she's going to notice it. The moment she can sense a masculine man, she's going to notice it, right? I remember these things happen on an intrinsic slash deeper level. So she may not even be attracted to him physically. She may know that he doesn't have any money, but she'll still be, or there'll still be a part of her that'll be attracted to that man because of how he makes her feel. Remember, women are on an emotional cycle. So if you can navigate that emotional cycle or eventually control that emotional cycle, you will always win the game of women. Whew, talking a lot, bro. But don't make the mistake of replacing your masculinity with money. You can literally have both of them at the same time. But men, they just hide behind the money. The money essentially becomes the shield. But yeah, bro. I'm even still navigating masculinity myself, to be honest. Look, the book's even over here. So, The Way of the Superior Man, I'm currently reading this because I still have a desire to develop myself as a man. Hopefully you have the desire to do that too, and you didn't just stop because you made money. Okay? One thing that I will tell you, if there's one thing that I want you to remember from this video, is that women are very good at sensing weakness. They may not show it, they may not tell you, they may not make it clear to any capacity, but women are pretty good at sensing weakness in a man. And then what they end up doing, and sometimes they do this without even realizing, is that they exploit that weakness. A woman will be able to sense that you are insecure and you are hiding behind your money, right? When she starts to realize that, you may find yourself in a situation where she starts to walk all over you, or she starts to test your boundaries, you know, because she knows you don't really have a backbone. You don't really have that manliness about you. All you have is the money, okay? And there are some evil women that will just say, okay, cool, this guy is not even a man. He's got money though. Or I want him to buy me this bag, or I want to go on this holiday, or I need X, Y, Z done. You know, they'll just keep using you for your money whilst they go and search, even on a subconscious level, for a more secure man. This is why it's important to be secure in yourself, but also have money as well. Having money but you're not secure in yourself, it just means that you're going to be insecure, and the money becomes a shield. And people are going to be able to sense, both men and women, that all you do is just hide behind your money, and people's respect for you will just decrease over time. And you gotta deep it. Like, you actually really have to think about it, because you see, men, all of us, we hold our manliness to our chest. What I mean by that is, if you were to be stripped of your manhood, that would be very painful, because you pride yourself, or you're supposed to anyway. You're supposed to pride yourself in being a man. It's what makes you feel like you. You've grown from a boy to a man. You've had the experiences of a boy, and you've now turned into a man. Okay? Going off of my last point, when a woman starts to sense your insecurity and the fact that you are hiding behind your money, right? She starts to see you as less of a man. And in turn, she starts to see you as more of a resource. More of a resource. And that puts you in a position to just be used. That's literally why I drew ATM, because now she's going to see you as an ATM machine rather than a man. And when a woman doesn't see you as a man, it's peak, bro, because she will start to treat you less of a man, and you will feel it. And you will feel it more if you actually have emotions and feelings for this woman, because now she's no longer being considerate. She's no longer asking how you feel. She's no longer checking in on you. All of the things that you would like from a woman, you aren't going to receive it, because she views you as a resource rather than a man. These two things are supposed to go hand in hand. The man is supposed to be resourceful, but she doesn't see you as a man. She just sees you as resourceful, so she's going to treat you as that. If she sees you as a man that is resourceful, she's going to treat you as that. I hope that makes sense, because there's a very distinctive difference. But yeah, bro, man makes the money, money don't make the man. I gotta get this money, I need more than 100 grand. You know, I used to rap, guys. It's my little secret. When I was younger. It's crazy. The third reason. Sorry, guys. I keep burping. Whoa. Sorry. The third reason as to why women will cheat on young rich men with broke guys, it's simply because you chose the wrong woman, bro. Sometimes we just have to be accountable. You chose the wrong, let's put this in capital letters so you can flip and see this. You chose the wrong woman, bro. And we've all been there. Sometimes you just gotta put your hand up and say, you know what, she's not who I thought she was. I made a mistake. Or she showed me signs of who she was in the beginning. I was too in love to the point where I ignored it, and I'm now reaping the consequences of my decisions and the things that I ignored. Okay? Sometimes when we choose the wrong woman, they just cheat, bro. They act in ways that we don't want them to act, and then they just do things. What the interesting thing is, right, and this is my unique experience, so maybe this may not be everybody, but whenever I've been in a situation with a woman and something bad goes wrong, I always, number one, blame myself and take self-accountability, because if I don't take self-accountability, it means that I'm saying to myself I have no power or control over the situation, meaning that I can't control if this happens to me again. But again, you can't control it, but you can influence it, okay? So I always take self-accountability. But for me, one of the things that I've noticed is that whenever something goes wrong with a woman that I'm involved with, there were always signs. Whenever I track back, there were always signs that I ignored about the woman, right? There's always signs, bro. I'm telling you, there's always signs. But you just can't be too naive and say, oh, she's not gonna do that. Nah, she'll never do that. And then there's that side of it. But then there's also the side where, because you have emotions for this woman, You question if you're ever going to find a woman like her. You question if you'll ever find anything better. You question if you'll ever find another woman where you feel this exact way towards. Because maybe you're a guy where you don't date seriously as much. You know, you may have the little flings here and there, but you're not continuously in something serious with different women. So you finally found a woman where it's actually getting serious. So now when you see these little signs, you ignore it because you don't want to ruin the whole picture. You don't want to ruin the fantasy that you've created in your brain of what the situation could be. But you ignoring these small things is the exact same reason as to why you get your heart broken and she probably cheats later on down the line. It could be 6 months down the line. It could be a year down the line. It could be a year and a half down the line. I can tell you for free, and I can tell you for a fact, the relationship that I was in 2022, she cheated on me. One day I'll tell the story. But after I got out of my emotions and I really assessed the situation, I said to myself, Aaron, you could have guessed that this was going to happen. You could have actually spotted that this was going to happen. Like, you know what? I'll even tell you one of the things that I noticed, right? I was thinking about this in the gym. You guys are getting a little backlog into me. But I remember I asked her one time. I said, do you see a future with me? Guess what she said? She said, I'll just do the letters. I don't know. No, remember, this is your girlfriend, Aaron. Guys, this is your girlfriend. If you ask your girlfriend, do you see a future with me? She's supposed to say yes. She's supposed to start talking about everything that she sees, family, kids, car, house, whatever it is that your woman imagines. But she said, I don't know. From this very moment, bro, I should have known, but I ignored it. I passed it off as something that wasn't serious. Later on down the line, she cheated. But then when I look back to this moment, of course she cheated. She doesn't see a future with you, or she's not confident in her future with you, meaning that there's a space for somebody else. And did somebody else take that space? They flipping did. I can talk about it because she'll never see this video. Even if she does, who cares? Literally. To expand on my point, right? Guys, the whiteboard's getting a bit dirty, innit? I should get a spray, because Nero usually uses a spray. But cool. When it comes to choosing the right woman, I've kind of separated it into 2 different categories. So what we have on the left is the legacy woman. And this is the type of woman that every man wants in his life. Then we have the lifestyle woman. All of you can use your brains and you probably know the difference between the two. But because you're watching this video, I just got to make sure that you know the difference between the two so you don't flip and get them mixed up. Because that's what men do. Men wife the lifestyle women, trying to change them into legacy women, or assuming that they are a legacy woman, but they're not. And then they get upset when she acts like a lifestyle woman. If she's a lifestyle woman, let her be a lifestyle woman. Just don't try and change her. Just find yourself a legacy woman. A legacy woman is a woman that wants to carry your legacy. A legacy woman is a woman that wants to actually have your family. She cares about the stuff that you care about. She's committed to your mission. She wants to help you and assist you on your mission, you know? She doesn't want to stress you out. She doesn't want you to be worried. She doesn't want you to be depressed. She doesn't want you to feel pressure. She wants you to be happy and at peace. I should have wrote all of that stuff down. But that is a legacy woman. What's a lifestyle woman? A lifestyle woman is pretty self-explanatory. She cares about a lifestyle. She wants to be in Dubai, Miami. She cares about the litness. She wants to get lit. Litness, clubs, cars, holidays, experiences, Instagram. Go for a highlights of 1 billion different countries. That's your lifestyle woman. On this side, peace. love, care, loyalty, honesty. She fears God. And she's inside the house. She cares about you, bro. Like, if you want a lifestyle woman, that's fine. If you want a legacy woman, that's fine. It's just that where men go wrong when it comes to dealing with women and getting cheated on, is that they get a lifestyle woman expecting her to be a legacy woman, or treating her like a legacy woman, or trying to turn her into a legacy woman. Or, yeah, and they're just not being perceptive enough, bro. They're just not being perceptive enough, so they don't even know how to spot a lifestyle woman and how to spot a legacy woman. Come on, lads, we got to get this right, because if you get this right, then you have a good woman for life. If you don't get this right, your life ain't gonna be nice. If you don't get this right, I don't want to say it twice. Lifestyle and legacy, man. Choose the right woman. A big mistake that you don't want to make is to mistake her desire for your resources with her desire for you. She may desire the fact that you can potentially elevate her lifestyle and change the whole dynamic of her literal experience on earth. That's what she wants. But she knows that in order to get that, she has to go through you. So you may think, yeah, she wants me, but she doesn't actually want me. She wants the lifestyle. But you need to be perceptive enough. You need to have discernment to be able to spot these things and act and move accordingly. When you get these things wrong, the title of this video is what happens. A broke guy ends up taking your woman. Your woman ends up cheating on you with a broke guy. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter if you're earning 10, 20, 30, 40, 50k a month. It doesn't matter if you're marketing agency owner. It doesn't matter if you have a flipping million in crypto. These things can happen to you. You are not excluded, okay? But yeah, that's it for this video. If you have any questions for me, literally ask in the comments. I'll make another video about this. If you want to work with me and you feel like, yo, my life's good, my business is good, everything's sweet, but Aaron, I just can't get this thing right with women. Literally, there'll be a link in the description where you can schedule a call with myself. Let's talk about it. If I feel like I can help you, then we'll work together, bro. But let's get this party started. Stop getting these things wrong with women. But anyway, that's enough for me. See you in the next vid, bro.